Yeah, this is where the famous entrance gate was to the antique city of Petra and the sick. It used to be there until 1895 when it collapsed, so fairly recently. And as you can see, you've got water channels running on both sides, first to the left, later on both sides of the canyon walls, and that's where there were clay pipes bringing water from the sources in the mountains to the city, the antique city of Petra. And they also carved out these canals. And it's quite interesting. The inhabitants were people which has been or which had been here for hundreds of years before Jesus Christ. I think it was like 400 before Christ. They were already here, or they had established themselves here in this riverbed, you might say. And at 300 before Christ, or 280 something, Alexander the Great actually tried to conquer the Nabatean town of Petra and sent one of his generals to conquer the city, but he was not successful. He was not successful. So the Nabateans prevailed. And then later on, there were other people trying to conquer the Nabateans, and the Romans finally were successful. Around 109, I believe, after Christ, they conquered Petra and incorporated it into their Roman Empire. But the Nabateans had a time when their town flourished under several Nabatean kings. I think it was more or less, between maybe 150, 100 before Jesus Christ, until about the Romans came and took over in 109. So they had like 100, 200 or more years of flourishing culture. And I think that's also the time some of the great buildings were built here. And they built like huge tombs for their royalty and nobility and important people. You will see them later on. They're called royal tombs, overlooking the civic center of the town. And they built temples. buildings to unite and talk about different things. So that's a widening of the canyon, and you can see that the canyons and the rocks are sandstone, but they have like little black veins of something else, which is probably harder than the sandstone itself. Very nice.